Good morning from Jerusalem. I know that it's difficult to hear me now, but it's important for me to stand here because I'm at the side of Jerusalem, and soon you will see the walls of the city, the old city. But you can see the Kidron Valley right in front of you. At the Kidron Valley, you can see a lot of tombs. Those are Jewish tombs, and I don't know if you can see the structure there. Yeah, now we can see this is Absalom tomb, the tomb of son of King David. Then the other side is Mount of Olives. We are now crossing Mount of the Kidron Valley, and it's very important for me to show it to you because this tour of Garden of Gethsemane will be according to John. Why? Few reasons. First of all, it's a no one knows it. Of course you know it, but I'm talking about the majority. Everyone knows the synoptic stories, especially Mark and Matthew, but I will deal with a different story because of another reason. Then we are crossing the noise, and you can see the Kidron Valley. It's difficult, isn't it? And I'm dedicated that video to John Theo from the Netherlands. He asked me to follow Jesus' footsteps according to John, and I'm doing it. I love that. I really love the Gospels, but I love John because it's a little bit different, and I want to talk about it. The story is totally different than the story of the others, of Mark and Matthew and Luke, and not different in a way, totally different. It's a way of perspective. If you're looking at the book of John, it's a victory thing. It's not the misery and the sorrow that I'm usually talking about. They're building here a visitor center, and soon in Israel, it can be in about 5 years, it can be ready. But look at the walls of the city, and let's talk a little bit about the Kidron Valley, but we will try to do that in a quiet place. Quiet place? There's no quiet place here, but at least we will try. John 18, Jesus arrested. When he had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side, there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. Then, let's start with that. Garden of Gethsemane, or Gethsemane, is not mentioned in the book of John. You can find it only in Matthew and in Mark. Strange, isn't it? It is. But the story takes you to the Kidron Valley, the other side of the Kidron Valley, and we are at the other side of the Kidron Valley. And I want to be next to the valley to talk about the meaning of the valley before we will enter together with John. Cross. This is Jerusalem cross, a symbol of Jerusalem. And I'm usually doing it for people who cannot visit Jerusalem, or because they're too old, or because they don't have a lot of money, or because we have no relationship with their countries. And what I'm doing, I'm buying it for you. There are a few options. I'm blessing it in one of the places. This time John asked me to bless it in the Garden of Gethsemane. And of course I will send it to him. I will upload the video to YouTube. Then John Theo from Netherlands will have his own video on YouTube, and he can share it with everyone. If you want to do that, if you want to cross for yourself, it's not a problem at all. Go into the link of Buy Me a Coffee, which is at the text beneath the video. And if you won't find it, send me a message. I will send you the link, and of course you will be able to get your own cross. This time it's for the family of John Theo. Then let's while we are looking at the beautiful church, let's talk about the Kidron Valley. The Kidron Valley starts from Jerusalem, and every inch of rain goes, or actually falls, on the temple, and this was the side of the temple, goes through the Kidron Valley all the way to the Dead Sea and the desert. It's 34 kilometers of river. Usually it's a dry river, but from time to time there are some flash floods and rain there. Then it can be very tough. It's the Kidron Valley divided between Mount of Olives and Jerusalem. You already know that. And the Bible actually mentioned that the Kidron Valley is the border of Jerusalem and the desert. King David went there when he ran away from his son Absalom, and you saw the tomb. But the most important thing is not only about desert, not desert. The most important thing is about purity, and this is Jerusalem, and a non-pure area, and that considered to be the non-pure area. That's why you already saw the Jewish cemetery, which is the biggest Jewish cemetery at Mount of Olives from the time of King David until now. The blood of the sacrifice actually was thrown to here. Scapegoat, remember? From here. Then in that case, the first Christians saw the Kidron Valley, and I will stand again, as a river of hell. And hell is described with fires, fire, and that is the name of that river by the Arabs, Wadi Nar, the Valley of the Fire. The Jews call it Kidron, it's a biblical name, but the meaning of it is Kedar. Kedar is black, the darkness, which is again, you can actually see the hell here as well, then non-pure and purity. You can see the Golden Gate in front of you. That is where we believe that when Jesus will come again, he will enter to the city from there. Then it's the area of the dead and the sinners. And if you're talking about the sinners, let's continue the gospel. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. Then it's not only a place of betrayed. This is the center in the way of Jesus. We know that he was there climbing, went into the temple every day. Then in that case, the holiness of Mount of Olives is not only at the top. The holiness of Mount of Olives is here too. You can see the 4 Gospels here, and in a way 4 different versions of the story. And later on, inside the church that's called the Agony Church, remember the synoptic, all about agony as sorrow and misery and passion, which I accept with love. But John is there too, and you will see a beautiful mosaic that I don't know why I didn't show it to you before. Maybe because I'm usually dealing with the synoptic, and today I got a mission to tell the story according to John. Then you can see the beautiful facade. It's a new church. It's from the 20th century. It's a totally new church, but it's on top of a Crusader church and a 4th century church. Then in that case, the area is well known. Then let's try to cross to the other side of the Kidron Valley. Double meaning. Alright, I'm crossing, nothing will happen to me. Then I'm back in the purity of Mount of Olives, the holiness of Mount of Olives. So we are saying goodbye to Jerusalem. I've been there earlier. Although the video is a general video, it's still a very important day. It's the Palm Sunday procession. Then I will be with you tonight this afternoon, and I will upload the video as I believe the day after. I'll try to do that at the same, I don't know. Well, the only thing that I know that is that I'm heading to Bethphage. I'm climbing all the way up to, through the top of Mount of Olives, and then we'll go to the other side, to Bethphage, to see where Jesus started his mission as a Messiah, as Son of God. Now we are going back to the Bible, book of John. So Judas came to the garden guiding lots of soldiers and some officers from the chief priest and the Pharisees. They were carried torches, lanterns, and weapons. First of all, let's talk about the Pharisees. If there is someone that saw against the Pharisees, this is not less than Matthew. In that case, is dealing with them more than any other Gospels. But why torches and lanterns? Because they came from the darkness. They are the dark. Jesus is the light, and we will see it too. Jesus knowing, and we will see it soon. Jesus knowing all that was going to happen to him. He knows the plan. He's following the plan. I look at is it a group? I'm not sure. I think it's Philippines women that works in Israel. Because there are not so many groups. I'm sure that today I will see few groups, but not a lot. Usually that's the entrance, and you can see Jerusalem cross. That's the dirt from Jerusalem in it. And we are entering, and it's quiet here. No tourists. A little bit of holiness. That Jesus knowing all of that was going to happen to him, he knows that this is the plan, and he's actually following God's plan. He knows everything, and but still, and let me see what he's actually saying. He went out. Listen carefully. He went out and asked them, who is you want? He's not hiding, and this is beautiful. Jesus from Nazareth, they replied. I am he. Now this is really important. I am he. That's happened between Moses and God in Mount Sinai. God said, I am he. And if you remember, he fell to the ground. Moses. He couldn't actually look at the vision or the area of God. When Jesus said, I am he, they drew back and fell to the ground. The same thing that happened to Moses happened to them. They knew that they are talking with God. They knew that they are talking with the Messiah. They realize it. Another important thing and well-known thing is Judas' kiss. Judas betrayed Jesus by kissing him on the cheek. That's how the priest knew exactly who is Jesus. The kiss is not here. Jesus is not hiding. He told them, I'm Jesus. I am He. Hallelujah. Another thing that you won't find here is the money issue, the 30 coins. You can find it at the Synoptic, but not here. The book of John told us that Judas took care of the money, and he wasn't innocent. He used to steal from their money, but you don't need the 30 coins of Judas here, because I am He. Again, he asks them, "Who is it you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they said. Jesus answered, "I told you that I am He. If you are looking for me, then let this man go." Gosh, in the Synoptic, they ran away. They flee. I'm talking about the disciples. I'm talking about the most important people. But here, the divineness of Jesus, I mean, you can see Him. You can see it. He was a mercy person. He told the Jews, the Pharisees, the elders, "You don't need them. Let them go. I am He." If you remember, this is the plan. And Judas, if you remember, he told him to do that. Then this was his plan too. In that place, Judas is not an innocent person, but it's not as horrible as you could see in the other Gospels. Hallelujah for that. John, Theo, thank you for forcing me to do that, because I always thought to visit Gethsemane via John, and it didn't happen. I needed you to do that. Jesus is Superman, divine, and he didn't want them to be sacrificed as well. He knew that his mission is to be sacrificed, but he is saving the people. He is saving, by that, He's saving us. We are the disciples. We are those people. We are at John, and we love it. Then this happened so the words He had spoken would be fulfilled. "I have not lost one of those you gave me." Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest servant, cutting off his right ear. Now, where it happened? Probably there, but I cannot talk there, at least not so loud. Then in that case, I will show you later on the mosaic wall of it. What we actually know now is that, I think all of the Gospels talks about it, but now we know who did it, because the Synoptic didn't mention the name of a person. Now we know who did it, and we know the name of the servant. The servant's name was Malachus, Melech. It's a king in Hebrew. Jesus commanded Peter, "Put your soul away. Shall I not drink the cup that Father has given me?" I must. Let's read something. I think it's from Matthew, and we will talk about the cup. Remember that the other Gospels talks about the sadness, the agony, and that's one of the name of their church. Oh, then let's see what we can see from here. Yes, it's from Matthew. Oh, yeah. "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And here it's a little bit different. This is my mission. Then in that case, shall I not drink the cup of my father, of the fathers has given me? This is the plan, Peter. This is the plan. That the detachment of the soldiers with the commander and the Jewish officer arrested Jesus. They bound him and brought him to Annas, and who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. Caiaphas was one of the advised the Jewish leader that it would be good if one man died for the people. Then in that case, this is the story of Garden of Gethsemane. Then what we know about it, Jesus was the light. Jesus wasn't the sacrifice here. Jesus was the hero. He was a super human being, super divine, and he followed the plan with proud. Now, the garden is right here. You will ask me, Zahi, how old are the trees? Well, around 1,000 years old, but that's what I heard. I'm not sure, because I didn't check it. But is it important? Not so, because when you cut an olive tree, it will grow again. And all the churches are visiting that place. And no one actually mentioned that there is a different place here. Then we will enter to the church. And let me tell you that it was built by 12 or 13 nations. Then in that case, one of the names of the church is the All Nation Church. And you will see the mosaic floor from 4th century. It will be under a glass. I'm not sure that I will be able to shout. And if I will be able to talk, I will do that quietly. I hope that you will hear me. You will see the bedrock that Jesus was nailing there and pray. And I think it was a look that talks about the angel who came to be with him. You are the Alpha and the Omega, and you will see the agony of Jesus there. It's dark because it's agony, and it was because it was around midnight. Then anyhow, it was dark. And what else? Yes, you will see Jesus' kiss that you didn't find here in the book of John, but you can find it in all the others, the synoptics. And oh yeah, and then a mosaic wall of, you can see Jesus standing with the light around him, and this is from the book of John. Then let's enter. I will give you 2 minutes to pray next to the bedrock, next to the altar. I hope that it's going to be opened, and let me show you what you're going to see. This is the bedrock. That's where I hope that I will be able to bless the cross. Judas kiss mosaic floor. Above the altar, above the bedrock, you will see Jesus' agony. And here, it's according to the book of John. See the light, the people that fell into the ground when they hear, I am he. And it's difficult to see it, but if you look behind the tree, you will see that's in the disciples falling asleep. Then let's enter the church. I'm so happy to be here with you. Sadly, I'm the only one here. Oh, there's a mass here. Yay! That was touching. It's not the end of the video, my friends. I want you to see a little bit more of the garden and even more places that I think it's important for you to see. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Sadly, as you can see, there are no tourists, and in that case, you are the only tourist of mine. You are part of my family, and if you want to help me, you can do that via super thanks. It's next to the like button right there. It looks like it's a shape of a heart, and you can help me via PayPal and buy me a coffee. That's the same option to buy to have your own cross or Bible. That will be at the description. I wanted to see a few more things. First of all, a very old tree. And you can see the difference between that to 1914 tree. Planted by the Pope who actually visited that place. Franciscus. And two more things I want you to see. That is, you know that it's a Catholic church. If not, I just mention it. But what will happen to everyone who comes to visit that place? They cannot pray or touch the bedrock at a Catholic place. Then they kept part of the bedrock outside the church. Then you will be able to bless yourself here if you are not part of the Catholic order. And this is beautiful that everyone are accepted here as one. Another olive tree that I want you to see is from 1964, and you can see how old that one is. Planted by São Paulo. The Pope himself had been here at 1964. And from here, you can see the Golden Gate and the olive trees. I think it's a must. And then move a little bit to the right and you will see the Golden Gate and the Dome of the Rock, the site of the Jewish temple. Some people believe, and I agree with it, is that if John knew that place, it means that that place was protected. They kept it, nothing will happen to Jesus. Garden of Gethsemane, we didn't actually talk about. It's the place that you are pressing olive into olive oil. Usually it belongs to someone. It's a private place, and they protect that private place with a wall. Then Jesus could hide himself here, could be here without any worry. Remember the visitor center that they are building? There you can see, I didn't see it because they didn't open it. There is a mikveh, a Jewish ritual bath. A Jewish ritual bath must be in a place like Garden of Gethsemane, mainly because it's a holy thing. Then they must purify their body. And remember, we are talking about the Jewish people who lived here. Where are those beautiful flowers? Here they are. The weather is such an amazing weather. I'm happy that it's not really sunny, it's partly sunny. Guys, it was a pleasure to be with you. John, which his name is Johann, but it's John in English. Thank you very much for helping me doing it, and I will send that cross to you next week. Today this week I'm very busy with videos that I'm taking of the Holy Week. Then happy Easter to everyone, And I'm going to the Palm Sunday for you. Bye bye.